There are lots of reasons why video doesn't work for an organization. And in this video, I want to go through the 7 things that I see founders doing all the time with video. And it means that those videos just fall flat and they do not have the result that they are hoping for when they go out to the world. And unfortunately, no matter how professional your video looks, if you get these things wrong, it's still going to fall on deaf ears. So let's dive straight in with number 1, the hero trap. When you look at any story and the way that stories have been told through centuries, there is always a hero of a story that gets called into some sort of mission. There's a problem that they have and that they can't solve themselves. They need a guide to help them on their hero's journey, to give them a plan so that they can move into a transformation and away from some sort of negative consequence. The problem is that businesses often will set themselves up as the hero. They talk about how great they are, how many years they've been in business, all of their expertise, the awards they've won, and none of that is relevant to your customer because the customer sees themselves as the hero of their own story. Every time your customer goes to your website, they've got a problem which they are looking to solve that they can't solve by themselves, and they are looking for a guide to help them on that hero's journey. All that means is that you've simply, very early on, you've got to articulate the problem that you solve, that your customer is facing, and demonstrate empathy and authority in your ability to solve that and give them a way in which they can actually go through. The second problem that people do is just over-scripting things, which means that you end up losing all of that authenticity. When people come to your website, they want to experience you. What is it like to work with you? And the more you over-script something, the more robotic you start to sound because people are trying to deliver a script. And most of us, myself included, are not trained actors, and delivering a script is hard. And so we end up sounding very wooden, very stale. When you write a script, often we're not writing things in the same way that we would actually talk in real life. And so, yes, you might have said the right things, but the way in which you say them is often the problem. The third problem that people make is about overproducing or underproducing their videos. And these are two ends of a spectrum which can both have a negative impact on your brand. Videographers are guilty of this time and time again. They will overproduce something. They'll convince you that you can't just shoot something on your phone. You have to have it done professionally. And there is a level of quality which is expected, which kind of says, yes, you have invested in this product. But the more overproduced you go, the more it starts to feel like you're just trying to sell something. And your message can get lost in that process. Now, the opposite can happen if you underproduce a video, you film it on your phone from miles away, people can't hear the audio. A lot of that will just seem unprofessional. And again, that's not what you want your customer to experience. So there's a sweet spot. Shooting something that looks professional but not overly produced, and that has a benefit as well in that you do not need a crew of 30 people behind the camera to light everything, which can make you feel flustered and quite frankly awful if you've got all that audience with you. So a minimum crew, minimum equipment to get it to look professional but not so much that it actually makes you feel uncomfortable. Number 4 is an over-reliance on animation. Now, animation has its place. I love animations for certain things, but when it comes to telling your brand story, people want to experience the actual person that is there. And I get it. As a founder, getting on camera is difficult. And sometimes it's easier for you to say, okay, well, actually, I'm just going to get someone else to do that bit for me. The reality is people want to experience you, that personality that you've got. It's you, the blood, sweat, and tears that you have poured into your business. When you can communicate all of that and people can see who you are, what you're like beforehand, that is hugely powerful, and that doesn't come across in animation. Animations, oftentimes, it could be anyone that's on the other side, and you want people to be connecting and having that human connection with you. Number 5 is just about how you actually use your video. Even if you have a beautifully well-produced video that tells the exact right story, if it's not in the right place and you're not using it, it's still not going to have the result that it needs. And so you've just got to have a plan and a strategy for how that video is going to be used so that the right people see it at the right time, and it builds that level of know, like, and trust which you really want when you get into that first sales meeting with someone. So don't hide it away on the About Us page or on a page that's just marked videos with 30 other videos. Your main brand story, you want right front and center of your homepage so that it's one of the first things that people actually see and they can experience you straight away, rapidly build that know, like, and trust and buy into you. So if you've got a meeting booked in, for example, you might send it to the person beforehand and say, I really can't wait to meet you next Tuesday. If you haven't seen this video already, by all means give it a watch. It should answer some of the questions that you might have before we meet you. Now you are just reinforcing this idea with them that they will get something from this video, that they will feel like they've connected with you. It's going to maybe answer some of their questions that they might have. And when they walk into that room, you know that they've seen it. They will feel not that you are a brand new person having to justify yourself. They know you, they like you, they trust you, they get why you're there in the first place, and they get that human connection. And hopefully they already want to work with you. Number 6 is the jargon trap. We are so guilty of using lots of different jargon within our businesses and organizations that the audience just simply doesn't get. Unless you know for sure that that person absolutely 100% understands the acronyms that you're using, don't use them. People don't buy the best product or service. They buy the ones who have communicated with clarity what they actually provide. And if you were to take a scale, say 1 to 10, 10 being where all our internal dialogue is at, people think they're dumbing it down by actually taking it down to about level 6. Your customer actually buys at an understanding of around a level 1 and a 2. So you really need to dumb it down. Just make it dead simple for your customer to understand and focus it around what problem is it that they are facing that you actually solve for them so that they can get a better result from working with you. And the last one, number 7, is about attention without alignment. When people are posting videos on social media to bring people into the organization, is that attention that you're grabbing aligned with your company messaging? When they get back to your website, have you got a brand story that tells your real story that matches up with the message that you're giving out? We often complicate things, particularly when we're going out on social media, because we're like, I've got to get attention from people. You've got to remember that when most people are coming into your world, they are brand new to seeing you. And so actually you can repeat the same message over and over again, drum it in so that people become aware of what that problem is that you solve. They know you as the person that solves that problem. You've got your niche carved out, and whenever anyone has that problem, or they know someone that has, you're going to be the person that they refer on. So make sure your attention grabbing material is also aligned with that overall brand story, positioning you as the guide, not the hero, and solving that customer's problem. Now, all of this is the stuff that I do when I'm working with a new client. Most of the work goes into figuring out what message is going to resonate, how it's going to be used, what stories you're going to tell, so that the actual recording of a video is dead simple. It's all done in a way which is designed to get you comfortable on camera, because I totally appreciate how difficult being on camera can be. I remember the first time I was on camera, I absolutely hated it, clammed up, and I was so desperate that no one would ever see that. Thankfully, I didn't make the final cut and no one had to actually see it. And that's not a nice position for people to be in. So everything that I do is designed to work out, how do we get the best of you on film, tell the right story so that your customer feels like they've experienced what it's like to work with you even before they actually have that physical experience. Now, if you are looking to make more of an impact with your business, but you're nervous about getting on camera and you've seen so many corporate videos that just really fall flat, then by all means, book in a call and we can talk about how we can actually get that started for you so the video can be something that's positive for you, you feel good about it at the end, and it really communicates that message effectively.